definitely, when I see Spike, I can't help but think of Half Pint in School Days. Some of us, after we watched that movie, we said we were going to an HBCU. And that's the movie I'm on YouTube many days now in my office. Living in Assumption, Paris, when Katrina happened, me and my wife, I was working in Baton Rouge at LSU. We were living about 60 miles west of the airport, suburban Baton Rouge. A couple days before the storm, I remember asking my students what their parents were going to do, and grandparents. They said, Doc, my folks are going to be cool. They've had this happened before. They don't want anybody to steal their stuff. That was before the storm. After, you talk to students, Doc, we can't find my uncle. My brother's missing. I think my aunt may be in Houston or Salt Lake City, Utah, or somewhere in between. And when you really talk to people who have lived through it, it is on a totally different level. And one day, about 3 months after the storm, one of my students called me. She was working at some kind of engineering firm. She said, Doc, they're bringing the bodies about 4 miles from where you all live at. I didn't believe her. She told me where to go. She said, drive out there. I drove out there, and lo and behold, there was a makeshift morgue. And there were 2 Louisiana State troopers at the beginning of the road. You couldn't even drive down the road to see the morgue. But they had all these black bodies there. They would never allow anybody who couldn't go to check on a relative. They were there. They're not sure what they were doing with the bodies. But some people said they just built a mass grave there. And it's not too far from where we were in Ascension Parish that there was this large morgue. And people believe now that it is a scene of a mass grave. One of the things that's not talked about when we talk about Katrina, these natural disasters, it's easy to make it a black and white deal. But I think to some extent, we got to understand that poor black folk in New Orleans have rarely had anybody speaking up for them, other black folk included. Right. Black folk in New Orleans have controlled the political structure since the mid-70s. Morial became mayor in 77, and you had this deal. It was as if Morial and the Creole folks going to control City Hall. Dollar Bill Jefferson, your boy.
I'll apologize.
Who's in federal prison now? They called him with 100,000 in his freezer.
Cold cash.
Cold cash, right? Literally,
Cold cash.
right? And so Bill Jefferson was he was from northern Louisiana, Lake Providence. It was his job to take care of the country, dark-skinned black folk who had migrated to New Orleans. But no matter what went on, it was the same script, different actors. Middle-class black folk getting paid, leveraging black poverty for personal profit. And many of us are also guilty because when you look at how New Orleans is set up, Sugar Bowl in January, the Super Bowl every 5 years, they don't even have to bid for it. Mardi Gras in February, Jazz Fest in the spring, Essence Fest in the summer, Bayou Classic in November. And when most of us went down into those events with Tom Joyner and Tavis, we followed the template. Go up Canal, make a left to go to Bourbon, make a right to go to St. Charles, get on Voyagers, go to the Superdome.